when you're ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alex Brida, and today would you like to talk about drilling operation Girassol-Angola. We have set this presentation in 7 parts. In part 1, I will briefly talk about the location activities. In part 2, my colleague Anthony will talk about the blowout prevented girassol. In part 3, Cidalisa Ramos will point out the environment issues. In part 4, Tagan will discuss the drilling fluids. In part 5, Mohamed Zacharias will show the drilling equipment used in the project. In part 6, Dionisio will emphasize the completion time. And finally, to conclude the presentation, Hassan Habib will introduce the new technologies. Girassol was discovered in May 1996 by Sonangol, Angola. The field is located 120 miles northwest of Luanda, the Angola capital, in water depth of 4,592 feet. Let's move on to the activity. I would like to start with an intriguing question. Why the major international companies, RRCs, are interested in Girassol Block 17 activities? Over the past decades, Angola became one of the largest crude oil producing countries in Africa, and Girassol is responsible for this activity. This integrated project development was set in early 1997 in 2 phases. In phase 1, 4 major companies managed to get into the business. Initially, the idea was to get the first oil from the ground as safely economical way as possible, which was achieved in early 2001 with 100,000 barrels per day. Also, to split the field facilities in 4 packets: the FPSO, the umbilical and flow lines, the SPS, and the well packet. In 2007, Angola became part of OPEC, the Organization of Petroleo Exporting Countries. In phase 2, FMC, Technique, Stolt, and E&I brought the latest technology to face the future challenges, including the subsea separators and the electric Christmas tree. Today, Girassol Block 17 is producing 500,000 barrels per day, resulting in 25% of the total crude oil producing in the country. I would like to invite my colleague Anthony to talk about blowout prevention. Excuse me.
Anthony.
Hello everyone, I'll be talking to you about health and safety in Girassol. Before we begin to drill a well, we need to use a set of safety practices called a safety case that draws our experience and expertise in health, safety and environment. Issues are clearly identified or assessed. Clearly, critical safety items and procedures are identified to manage remaining risks. Personal roles and responsibilities are indicated. Next, I'll be talking to you about the BOP. The BOP has 2 types of ramps. One is the blind ramp, and 2 is the shear ramp. The blind ramp, also known as the shearing blind ramps, sealing shear ramps, are designed to seal the wellbore, even when the wellbore is occupied by the drill pipe, by cutting through the drill pipe as the ramps close off and seal the well. Next, I'll be talking about shear ramps, are commonly known as casing shear ramps, which cut off through heavy wall or large diameter pipe. This is not used to seal the well, it cuts off. Next, I will be inviting Cidalisa to talk about the environment.
She's with us.
Protection of the environment is a top priority throughout our Girassol projects.
Girasol foam safe addicts are carried out at soil and the visual construction yards. Project team safe manager will indicate to each site to ensure that constructors are following safe standards. No development program is ever undertaken without a prior assessment to always to safety, health and environment over the entire life. At girasol, the produced gas has been reinjected in order to eliminate fluorine and all sorts of valuable energy resources. Drilling cracks are treated and then safely discharged. All produced water is treated and then safely discharged. And now I've got my collector to continue the presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tagan. Today I'm going to talk about drilling fluid used in the girasol field. In the girasol field, mineral oil-based mud is used for most of the wells, where the density is 1.1 gram per cubic centimeter at the 25 degree centigrade. The advantages of using the mineral oil-based muds are low toxic and most suited for deviated and horizontal wells, and by reducing the risk of differential sticking, and lastly, non-reactive towards the reservoir formation. However, water-based mud is also used for draining the top hole sections and for the sections of water injectors. Most of the horizontal wells are highly permeated and consolidated sand reservoirs, and because of that, it's difficult to achieve early detections of slope influences when oil-based mud is used. And finally, hits took place in the long horizontal wells. And to overcome that problem, Q-weight mud is used to compensate the formation of pressure. And this is the general equation used as the principle of the well field, where the P is the pressure and H is the depth of the column, and rho is the weight density. Now I'm going to ask my bacteria.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll speak about the drilling equipment used in the girasol field. There are many thousands of equipment used in the drilling of process, but I will go to some specific one, and the one which is very important and mega structure. First of all, for any drilling operation, a platform is needed. Either it is offshore or onshore. The field is located on offshore, which is located on deep sea. So it is recommended to use the drilling ship, which is you can see here in the beginning, because it's located on 6,000 feet down. And after that, they use the semi-submersible platform, which is shown here. These are the two mega structure and equipment used in the drilling process. After that, when the drilling took place and began, the casing is the most important element equipment used in the drilling process, which is given here the detail. Casing is installed in a circular pipe and followed by the cementation to avoid the well from the inflow of the other liquid. And the second thing is the drilling string. Drilling string is a column made up of drilling pipe and drilling bit to transmit drill fluid to drilling bit. And the fourth one is the drilling bit. The drill bit is a hole boring device made of hard steel used to cut the articles. And it depends on the structure of the earth and how hard is it and how soft it is. And to keep the drill bit cool, the mud circulation system is used to keep it cool. And therefore, this is the mud circulation system, which is given here. And above from this, there's a blue operator, which is very important equipment used in operation, because if to control the unwanted inflow of the hydrocarbon in the field, which is given here. This is the hydrocarbon. And the other thing is the drill collar. The drill collar is the thick wall made of the steel, which used for to give the heavy weight and mass to the drill bit to push it down. Thank you so much. I'll request my colleague here to come.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lsbu, and today I'll be talking to you about completion type program, new operations girasol-Angola. This is a simple diagram of the girasol development. As you can see, this is made up of a semi-submersible platform, FPSO, with a loading buoy, and 3 riser towers. The first riser tower on the left is designated to the injection wells. And the other 2 on the right are related to the producing wells. The girasol development consists of 23 producing wells, 14 water injection wells, 2 gas injections, and 5 8-inch production loops and 10 inches injection lines. According to total, a production of up to 35,000 barrels of oil per day is expected with highly deviated wells, completed with 5.5 tubing and 10 control magnets. The recovery is expected to reach 725 million barrels of oil from the field. Now I'd like to introduce my colleague Hassan to talk to you about new technologies.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hassan, and today I'm going to talk about new technology. And in new technology, the topic